News dump. No time to waste, but before we get into something important, Matt,
That's what she said. No time.
we are back at Idle Hands Craft Ales next month on April 19th, and we are bringing back a fan favorite of a trivia topic. Come on over here, potheads. We're doing Harry Potter.
Yeah, so if you show up April 19th, that'll be in the past. We'll be there June 19th. June 19th for Harry
This
Potter
is the
trivia.
earliest that we've recorded in a very long time. I'm very, very tired.
Yeah, we're going to do Harry Potter part. Yeah. So
Yes.
I think we last did that maybe 8, 9, 10 months ago, something like that.
Over a year ago, but
one.
yes.
Was it? I thought it was
actually,
last fall.
last one, no, it was over a year ago, but the last one actually ended in a tie, and we had a lightning round, lightning forehead round. That's what Harry Potter is, right?
Sure.
Yeah. Thank you to everyone who came out last night or whenever you're listening to this for our May trivia, Saturday morning cartoons. We had a hell of a time.
Goo. That begs the question. If you were to have any sort of shaped scar, what kind of scar would you like?
Fuck, lightning is good. Fire is a very good one too, right?
Yeah, but like
because water looks almost too much like a teardrop, and if it's under your eye, people will assume that you've murdered.
True. Well, it doesn't. Would it have to be on your face? I guess is that the starting point?
I guess.
I'd like a star, little star, like over here or something. You know,
would call you Starboy.
Just a little cheek star.
Guys, tweet at us right now. Tell us where you would like a great scar or birthmark on your body, shaped like something though. You gotta tell us what it's shaped like.
It has to be a specific shape.
Yeah. News dump. The roast of Tom Brady was this past weekend. Quite long, but worth the sitting.
Yeah, just over 3 hours, and I would say there's probably about 2 hours and 20 minutes of legit material in there. It's pretty fucking good. I was stunned as to how good it was and to how much was not off limits. Like the only thing they couldn't crack a joke about, which Ross does at the beginning, was Kraft. So, or Kraft getting massages. So I was happily surprised at how good this was. And now I got an appetite for roast again.
Now, I do want them to go back to only one roast a year. I think Comedy Central eventually went to like 2 roasts a year. That was way too many roasts. And then they were also stretching it thin on the people that they would roast. I do love them going with such a well-known worldwide person like Brady. You mentioned to me last night, maybe them doing someone, and he would never do this, but like a Michael Jordan.
Yeah, Jordan would just want to fight everyone on stage. But I think you have to get celebrities or athletes of that magnitude so that they're so well known.
Is this person of that magnitude? I mean, obviously LeBron James is, but I don't think he can take a joke.
I think
Charles Barkley be of that magnitude?
I think Barkley and Shaq would be good candidates.
So Shaq's already been roasted.
Oh, he has. Okay, so Barkley would be a good one then. I agree.
Maybe Steph Curry, but Steph Curry isn't known well enough off the court, right?
No, I think Steph's probably outside of LeBron the next man up for basketball. A LeBron one would be like too corny, and he's too nice with everyone.
Oh, you know what they're gonna do? You know who the next one is?
Who?
If they're gonna go athlete, Travis Kelce.
Okay. See, I don't know an athlete would do it while they're still playing though,
but he also might be retired by the time that we get to the next one.
Maybe. One of the biggest things here was it being on Netflix. Yes. There was no holds barred. They could say and do whatever they wanted. And so I think a player that's still playing, that might become a bit of an issue. A retired player, they got nothing to lose.
It wouldn't be like, hey, remember the time you murdered that person? Remember all those steroids you did?
Well, the allusion to drugs and whatnot in some of these jokes would be too much for a player that's still playing.
If I were to ask you who you thought had the best set in the Brady roast, who is it?
I thought Nikki Glaser, head and shoulders above everyone else. She did like 8 minutes of absolute evisceration of everyone on stage.
Rapid fire too.
Yeah, she had probably 3 of the best, like 5 or 6 jokes of the night. Next up, I would say Tony Hinchcliffe. He's the one that
was very good
towards the end. He also roasted everyone at a rapid fire rate. But like Julian Edelman was very good. Drew Bledsoe was very good. that was the thing with this too, is like the athletes were surprisingly pretty good besides Randy Moss.
And also, just big tip of the cap to Gronk for just taking shit the entire night. And then his delivery, his Tim Robinson-esque delivery of, you guys all think I'm a big fucking stupid piece of shit, made me laugh really good too. I also want to give a shout out to Sam J, who I had no idea who Sam J was, although she was in the Jonah Hill movie last year. Is
I
that
was aware of her. I've never seen her do
okay? So I
stand-up,
didn't.
though.
She's hilarious. She was so
She
good.
was very good. I agree.
Who was the worst?
Randy Moss was the worst, followed
Yeah,
closely
Randy Moss had
probably
a
by Ben
tough
Affleck.
time. Ben Affleck just went on there and just bitched about you.
Ben Affleck is sick of the internet.
Ben Affleck he was the opposite of his character from Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back, where he told Jay and Silent Bob, you can't attack the people on the internet. They're just losers behind a keyboard. Just move on with your life. Affleck said, no, I'm going to attack everybody.
Yeah, he's had it. He's done.
Yeah. Newsed up. He also referenced the wrong movie when bringing up his Batman Sound of Silence. That was Batman vs. Superman, not Justice League. So
I think
someone should have roasted him about that.
I think he just wanted to shit on the Justice League, is what I gathered.
I know, but I would have gone up there and be like, hey, idiot, you referenced the wrong movie. Period of your time, you dummy. Hey, Mac, The Boys season 4 is coming back in June, and we just got another trailer.
Yeah, before we had just gotten really a teaser, so we got the first full trailer for season 4, and for those of you that haven't watched Gen V, now's the time to hop in, because 2 of the characters from that show, Sam and Kate, seem to have a prominent role in this season of The Boys. 2 great characters, might I add, and Gen V was a great season of television.
Gen V also introduces something that's going to come into effect.
Yeah, so the premise of this season is that Godolkin University, is that the name of it?
Godolkin
has essentially secretly developed a virus that can kill soups. And at the end of the Gen V season, Billy the Butcher sort of stumbles upon that. And so that is the jumping off point for this season. Additionally, because of his rampant use of V, Billy the Butcher only has, or Billy Butcher, I should say, not the Butcher, only has like 6 months left to live because he's got cancer from the Gen V. So things are going to be pretty ramped up in this season of television.
My prediction: he kills Ryan.
No, I think Ryan kills.
Hey, that's my prediction.
But that doesn't do anything. We need to kill Homelander.
This is just going to piss Homelander off even more.
And also Victoria Newman's still looming large. She's running. She's on the presidential ticket as the vice president. So we'll see how she plays into it. We still don't know the answer of whether she can kill Homelander or not. Presumably she can. We also find out, of course, in Gen V that Marie Moreau has the same powers. And I wonder if she pops up too.
Newsed up. Speaking of June, when The Boys are coming out, it is coming out on June 13th. Also in June, big month if you like to feast your eyes upon your television. On June 6th, we have The Acolyte.
The Macolite.
On June 16th, oh, you fucking got it, bud. Acolytes. That's my Dave Matthews.
Nice.
House of the Dragon, sorry, on the 16th. And then The Bear being released all at once on the 27th.
I wish I liked The Bear. There's a lot of passion for it. I thought season 1 was okay. I watched 1 episode of season 2 and I said, nope, not for me.
Could you imagine
the folks have it?
A bear in a kitchen just being like, more honey?
Yeah, it is
Bears
pretty
like
early,
honey,
I guess. Right? That was a terrible joke.
I stand by it. News dump. Also got a trailer for Twisters, because Glenn Powell is looking to make them natural disasters pretty sexy.
Glenn Powell is finally making tornadoes sexy again. It's all we've ever asked for 2 decades, is make tornadoes sexy again, and Glenn Powell's finally doing it.
2 Twisters. There's an S on it.
You missed the one before this, by the way.
Okay, I'll just go back. It's okay. News dump. All right, let's go back to April 19th. A Quiet Place, day 1. We got another trailer there. And once again, I know we've already said this a couple times. This movie's coming out on June 28th. I'm not super excited. What I love about the first Quiet Place is it's so quiet, it's unique, it's a creature feature that is not just creatures in your face. What I liked about the second movie, it is a clean 90 minutes, and I respect the fuck out of that.
Mhm.
This one just looks loud. It should be
Uh,
called The Loud Place.
Maybe the first 15 minutes will be loud. This actually looks pretty good. It's starring Lupita Nyong'o, the dude that played the guitar guy in Stranger Things. What's his name? He's in this.
Yeah.
Jaimin Hansu's in this. I think it's gonna be pretty good. Pretty good. Now, the first
No, I
movie,
think it'll be pretty good, but
I loved. The second movie, I enjoyed quite a bit. I have a feeling this will be right around the second movie. I'm expecting like a 34 dog movie. You know, it's solid, pretty watchable, nice little blockbuster. Um, I like the idea of the day one stuff. You know,
news up. Mac, we are about to get cable, pretty much. Disney and Warner Brothers Discovery are breaking ground in a streaming bundle that it will be offering Disney Plus, Hulu, and Max.
I just don't want any of my shit to change. I have all three already, although I
You are
have
under
a
the
password
radar
for
right now,
one.
also. So don't talk too much about it. Don't let them
No,
find out.
they already updated my bullshit Disney Plus price. I was under the radar
Ah,
for like a year. I don't want anything to change with my shit. I want it to stay the same. And stop bundling bundles here. Like Disney Plus already has a million channels underneath it, as does Hulu. Now we're adding Max into the mix, which is fine. You know, Max is pretty good. But what like I'm subscribed to certain ones for certain reasons. If you're not
yeah.
subscribed to them, you're just not. Like, stop bundling everything.
Yeah, and they're going to have both an ad-supported and ad-free plan. There is no specific price on the bundle or the date for a launch point. But if it's over $100, it's not gonna be over. If it's even, say if it's 50, that's kind of a lot.
So what's going to happen to the Disney,
50
Hulu,
a
and
month, by the
ESPN?
way.
Disney, Hulu, and ESPN Plus bundle. I think that's what I have right now.
Would they just put ESPN as a part of the Disney bundle?
I don't know. Or are they
Maybe.
getting rid of it? I'm not
Maybe they
sure.
are, and they'll start another one.
I don't like that.
This is all gonna get way too expensive again, isn't it? And
Agreed.
then we're all gonna go back
100%.
to cable. We're all gonna go back to cable. Xfinity has us by the feet, dangling us over a
I
building
really
now.
only need like 6 channels. That's all I need. I don't need
Yeah.
anything more than that.
Yeah, I have YouTube TV. I watch 5 or 6 channels tops.
Yeah.
What I actually do like about YouTube TV, though, is in the NHL, NBA playoffs, if there are multiple games on at once, they go do box or quad box.
That is nice. I like that.
Yeah, I love myself a quad box.
Hmm.
News dump. They also do that during the NFL season as well. Mac, did you see this? Did you hear about this? We finally got our first look at David Corn Sweat's Superman, and he doesn't seem bothered.
Yeah, there's not much to take away from this for me, honestly. It
The
looks
world is
good.
exploding, and he's putting on his boots.
Yeah, it looks good. I'm looking forward to the movie. I got nothing more.
Did you see the photo of him working out, or just the photo of him post workout or something?
I saw his biceps. They
He
look
is
large.
fucking bigger than J.K. Simmons.
But I must
That's
say,
how I judge people, by the way, is against J.K. Simmons.
I don't really have a frame of reference for what he looked like before, you know? I hadn't seen him in anything before, so.
I would say a thinner version of this. He was always, I think, pretty like ripped up, I would say. But this is
Okay.
now he's yoked. And he took the white part out. He's just the yellow part of the egg right now. Just funny because he probably only eats the white part of the egg.
What's your favorite part of the egg?
The yellow part.
Yeah, it's much better.
Yeah, that's the only good part of the egg.
Well, I mean, the egg whites are fine.
Well, the egg whites need to be mixed with the yellow part. The yellow part is called the yolk, by the way.
Yeah.
Science. And if you mix them both together, I like to use it to bathe my chicken as well. Which
I like
then,
a
if
nice.
you really think, you know what, you really think about that though. It's like bathing a mama and their baby.
I like a nice egg. I haven't had a hard boiled egg in a while. Maybe we'll do that today.
Well, you famously love deviled eggs.
I do love deviled eggs. I love all forms of eggs.
So we call you Egg Boy. Now I should have said Egghead because you look like a
That's
balls.
why my head is the way it is.
That's how I would start your roast. Mac likes eggs because his head looks like one.
Hot
News
start.
dump. Then I would bust out my bear joke.
You
Mac, Batman Crusader is coming to Prime in August. Max passed on this project. This is Bruce Timm, J.J. Abrams, and Matt Reeves. In an interview with Entertainment Weekly, Tim said that they are going for a 1940s set period piece on this, which I do think they should do to try and separate it from the animated series. So either do further back in time or right now, but you would need to separate it because they want to avoid, or they should avoid, looking like they're trying to copy X-Men, the animated series, X-Men 97.
Yeah, I get that. But at the same time, you now have people like demanding for Spider-Man 98 and all sorts of shit from the 90s
Mhm.
that we liked but could be better now. And I think this is a prime candidate for that shit. I just keep it. Well, you know what? The original animated series was serious enough. Just keep it on
Yeah.
a serious tone, the way X-Men is, and we're all gonna love this.
I think the biggest thing here is, and I haven't seen anything casting wise. I need to know what Bruce Wayne Batman sounds like. I need to
Yeah,
know who they're going to bring in to voice this character.
we tried to find it on the internet last night, and we couldn't
It's
figure
fucking
out who's
impossible.
voicing Batman. It's insane.
And we're usually pretty good at finding things on the internet.
Yeah, that's like my only hobby.
News dump. Got some casting for Fantastic Four. Ralph Ineson? Ineson?
Sure, that works for me.
Okay. He has been cast as Galactus. IMDb says that you would know him from The Witch, The Green Knight, and The Creator. Also, John Malkovich has been cast as an unknown character. You would know him from his real life of being John Malkovich.
Pay the money's money. It's my favorite John
Uh,
Malkovich role, Rounders. That's a fucking movie. That movie's so underrated. Great flick. Friend of the podcast, Mort. That's like his favorite movie ever. It's one of like 7 movies he's seen.
he likes
Um,
Big Daddy, too.
Bringing John Malkovich into this movie and into the MCU is a choice for sure. So I'm betting he's playing a very bizarre character.
News dump. Also, I like them getting I say semi-unknown because I don't know who it is, and just let
Mhm.
them grow with the character. Because you already have your superstar in the movie. You already have a really big name with Reed Richards. You don't need to have big names in every character.
Agreed.
Mac, while speaking to, I don't know, fucking shareholders or something, Bob Iger, over the past couple years, has been saying we need to work on quality over quantity with the MCU. Less is more sometimes. And what he told them, no more than 3 Marvel movies a year. I'm putting my foot down, and 2 shows.
I am sick of Bob Iger, Captain Hindsight here. Secondly, they have 4 movies due next year. So this motherfucker's already wrong.
Well, if you add up this year and next year and then divide it into 2, he's still under 3.
I'm
Math.
done with Bob Iger. Stop talking to people. We don't need your voice or your opinion on anything.
I just love how he's like, we need to do less. We're going to do no more than 3. And he's like feeling out the room.
Yeah,
3 movies. 3. Okay,
right.
3 movies and 2 shows. 2 shows. News dump. Speaking of one of their movies this summer via Empire, Kevin Feige advised Hugh Jackman against returning as Wolverine, saying, "Don't come back. You had the greatest ending in the history with Logan. That is not something we should undo." I'm calling bullshit.
No, I think we all felt this way for a good amount of
Yeah,
time.
but do you think a movie executive, someone that is at the head of Marvel, where Marvel is kind of floundering right now with their box offices, told a superstar, like, hey, you shouldn't come back?
Yeah, they might have had a preliminary conversation like this, and part of it is because Kevin Feige didn't have any say over the first Deadpool movie. So now, if you're going to bring him back for the third Deadpool movie that Feige hasn't really been involved with, I think he had a little trepidation there. And on top of that, I think we all sort of held the same sentiment. He went out on top with Logan. Why
Well,
come
we
back
all
and
agree on
dilute
that.
it?
Yes. Yeah,
Yeah,
but also As someone who has their hands in the piggy bank, I'm sure he's not like, "Oh, we don't want you back, Hugh Jackman, you fucking superstar." Come on. Come on.
I don't know.
Grow up. Grow up, Peter Pan, Count Chocula. News dump. Speaking of Wolverine, he resides at the X Mansion in X-Men 97 and in other various properties. And right now, Mac, you could sleep in Wolverine's bed and hold his photo of Jean Grey if you go to New York and get that Airbnb, which is an exact replica of the animated show's X Mansion.
Goo, I
Yes.
don't know how to say this any more definitively.
Mhm.
This came out maybe a week ago. The internet was all abuzz about it.
So you've had a
This
week to really think about this. You've been
this is
laying
the
in your bed, staring at a photo of the mansion, grazing it with your fingers.
This is the dumbest shit ever. This is so fucking stupid. It's replicated and done in like a cartoonish sort of way. You can't use anything. You can't do anything. You can just sleep in a bed in a cartoonish room. Fucking dumb. And it's probably
What if
thousands of dollars a night.
what if when you take a step through the door, it turns you into a cartoon?
All right. Well, now that's actually kind of spooky. Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, 8 seconds into the thought, I'm out. I'm out on that. That's worse.
And when I say turn you into a cartoon, they drug the shit out of you.
I am out. I am out on themed Airbnbs. I'm not paying a
Speaking of
premium.
themed Airbnbs, one of the other ones, I think there's a couple more, but I only saw this other one, is the house from Up. They'll actually lift you up with a crane.
No, come on.
Yeah.
You're not making this up.
No.
This is
You have
terrible.
balloons on the outside that apparently don't work.
Is
and they lift you
Airbnb
with a
really
crane.
struggling that bad that they have to resort to fucking gimmicks?
I think everyone's resorting to gimmicks. Look at us. Mac, if I were to ask you right now, though, any fictional house, Airbnb, price is not an issue, where would you want to stay?
I don't know. Some place with all sorts of cool technology. Where
So it
nothing.
sounds like you want to stay at the smart house.
I'd like to stay at the house from Iron Man 1, Tony Stark's house.
Okay, so I have a list here of houses that I would like to stay at. Do you want to hear this?
No, I don't.
SpongeBob. It's a pineapple under the sea.
You're
The
gonna
question
go
is,
to the ocean floor?
yeah, that's the question, though. Do I go to the ocean floor or does the ocean floor come to me? We'll find out. Hey Arnold, but very specifically only his bedroom.
Just for that couch?
The rest of the house is kind of depressing.
Yeah, it's a fucking apartment building in New York City.
That guy Oscar's a real I don't trust him. He lies to everybody.
Oscar, why are you such a grouch?
It's not the same Oscar. I guess that's a good one too. You can stay in Oscar the Grouch's trash can. How about the Full House house? We could podcast from the basement.
Whatever happened to predict the
And you can just sing like a fucking
the
idiot every day.
milkman, the baby boy, even in TV.
And then anytime you want to eat, you're like, hey, could I have some snacks? We're just going to do Dave Coulier the whole time. Clarissa explains it all.
No, I'm not climbing up some fucking lattice on the outside of the house.
No, I'm not saying that you are the neighbor. I'm saying that you're Clarissa.
No, I'd want the whole experience. I would climb the lattice.
The lattice? What the fuck is a lattice?
You don't know what lattice is? It's like the
No.
cross beam shaped type of stuff that you can grow like ivy on. A lot of people will have it on the side of their house.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. I
Or
like that.
or
Thank
a
you for
lot of
explaining
people,
it to me.
it will be what's under a front porch or deck to
Mhm.
make sure nothing can get in.
So you want the full experience. You want a younger brother named Ferguson?
Yeah, big Fergie guy.
What if it was the house and Melissa Joan Hart offered to stay there with you?
She doesn't do it for me, to be honest with you.
No,
does
she's
not
got
do
a
it for
face.
me.
I don't like her face.
Something about the
The Home
face.
Alone house? And while you're there, people try and break in and murder you?
I would like to try to get people into some of those traps on the
That
Home
would be
Alone houses.
fantastic if you get to stay in the Home Alone house during the purge. And
You know what?
anything fucking goes.
We just came up with a new TV show here. It's called
Yep.
Home Alone. You have one person who's trying to survive, two attackers, and there'll be a winner or a loser. Whoa!
What is your application? What are you using?
Just all sorts of balloons just popped up. It would be like Legends of the Hidden Temple, except Home Alone.
Xenon, girl of the 21st century.
I'm not going to space.
I want to send you to space. The Smart House, but it promises it won't kill you.
No, too scary.
Clueless, you get to hang out with Paul Rudd.
If Alicia Silverstone and or Stacey Dash and or an alive Brittany Murphy is there, then maybe.
And you, as a fashionista, as a Maxinista, you get that computer where you get to match up your clothing.
If you were in a room with Paul Rudd, Stacey Dash, and Alicia Silverstone, as hot
Who
as
do you
those two
kiss
are,
first? Is that the question?
I might rather want to hang out with Paul Rudd.
The Bluey's house is pretty cool if you want to look at, current parents love Bluey.
Sure.
And then I think maybe the best one is the Spice Girls bus from Spice World.
Oh, now we're talking mobile.
That is a double-decker bus that when you go inside is actually a mansion.
Should I wear the little Gucci dress or the little Gucci dress?
Newsed up. Our topics are all over the place today. We did not do this well, but let's go back to Hugh Jackman. Apparently, he's going to be playing Robin Hood in The Death of Robin Hood alongside Jodie Comer. This is a darker reimagining that finds Robin Hood gravely injured in the hands of a mysterious woman grappling with his past after a life of crime and mad.
We're like 0 for 1,000 on Robin Hood movies. Let's stop with the Robin Hood movies. I'm out on this.
I'm pretty sure that in our world famous, heavily awarded Retire These Tropes movie character podcast that we did, we said Robin Hood. We've had enough.
I hope we did.
But we also said Draculas, and then we got Nick Cage's Dracula, and we said bring back Draculas.
Fair enough.
We are allowed to change our minds.
In an instant.
Without thought, without remembrance of what we said in the past. We can do it like this. I never said that. There's no tape of that. News dump. Sydney Sweeney's next role will be a biopic. She is going to play Christy Martin, directed by David Michaud.
Goo, I don't know if you know this story. There was a it was one of those like TV series, like Dark Side of the whatever, did a series on this. Christy Martin was like
it was produced by Pink Floyd,
right? An up and coming female boxer who I believe was murdered by her boyfriend or something like that.
Oh.
So it's a pretty interesting. It's either that or she kills her boyfriend. I forget what it is.
I mean, you got to pick one or the other, man. Those are two entirely different
someone died
things.
somewhere in there, and Christy Martin's involved. Sydney Sweeney, though, I'm all in on anything she does, so I'm in on this.
I just saw her sexy rom-com movie that without her and Glenn Powell, I don't think anyone sees. But with those two in there, it's sexy. I'll give them credit. It's sexy.
Very enjoyable movie.
Also, credit to them for calling out her sleepy eyes in the movie. I really did enjoy that. You got to take her down a peg every once in a while.
Yeah, that's true.
News down. We got some casting for Blade Runner 2099. This will be the Amazon Prime show that is coming to Amazon Prime. That would make sense because why would they put it somewhere else? Michelle Yeoh will be starring in the show. She'll be playing Olwen. O-L-W-E-N. That's a future name if you ask me. A replicant near the end of her life.
Blade Runner 2049, I think, is one of the greatest movies of all time. One of my favorite movies of all time. I like that universe that they've built. I like Michelle Yeoh. I'm worried about the production quality of this show because
Amazon does great work. Get off
get
their
it.
ass.
I get it. Although I heard the Lord of the Rings show didn't look great, so maybe not. They have to put a lot of money into this Blade Runner futuristic world to make it look good. I worry it's not going to look good. But Michelle Yeoh is great, so I do enjoy this casting news.
I am so curious how you got those balloons like 5 minutes ago.
I have no idea.
I've been thinking about it for 5 straight minutes now. I don't know how you got those balloons. News dump. Also, what else can you get on there? We've seen
I don't
thumbs
know
up,
my
we've seen
this is
balloons.
this is only the first movie in my trilogy. I don't know my full powers yet, my full potential. I'm still learning.
You're like Jubilee. You can only make sparkly fingers right now. We're going to see what happens later on, though. We have early reactions, speaking of Glenn Powell, to The Hitman. This is coming out May 24th in theaters, then on Netflix on June 7th. This is a Richard Linklater written movie, I believe. It is a 96% on Rotten Tomatoes right now after 72 reviews and on Metacritic in 82.
Yeah, the trailer looks pretty good for this.
Yeah.
Glenn Powell is playing a fake hitman. I think he works for the FBI or something like that. I'm intrigued by it, that's for sure.
I'm not even sure if he works for anyone. I think he just poses as a hitman, gets money for it, changes his identity for all this stuff, and now he needs to actually become a hitman or something like that.
No, I think he's definitely working for an agency. They're
Look, man,
trying to catch people.
you know what? I'm going to find out on May 24th.
I'll find out on June 7th.
Oh, I'm going to see it in theaters. This looks great.
I don't know if I'll see it in theaters.
No,
It's a busy May.
we need to reward movies like this.
There's Garfield's coming out that day. Come on.
The unknown character of Garfield. We need to have him be pushed into the public conscious. I was just about to play the theme song to Garfield and Friends, and I remembered I'm not allowed to play music anymore. So last night at our award-winning Saturday morning cartoons trivia, our halftime was we played 8 theme songs, or like the first 10 seconds of 8 theme songs, and we said, hey, tell us the name of the show based off this theme song. And I played the theme. Go to YouTube right now. Turn us off, never turn us back on again. But just go to YouTube, type in theme song to Garfield and Friends. It is pure nonsense.
I would search Garfield and Friends theme song personally.
So you want to put that second. That makes more sense.
Hmm.
Were you a bigger fan of the Garfield and Friends theme song or the Attack of the Killer Tomatoes theme song or Eek Extravaganza?
Eek Extravaganza was my favorite one. Never even heard of that show.
It was just screaming.
I'll tell you, the trivia questions you came up with, I would say were on the easier side.
Yeah.
And then you smacked them in the face with the hardest halftime you've ever done.
Go to Tasmania. Go to Tasmania. News dump. Mac, the spinoff to The Office. This is set in the Office universe, but really looks like it has nothing to do with the previous cast. Hopefully, because this will follow the documentary crew that immortalized the original Scranton branch, going to a Midwestern newspaper company that is, struggling a bit. My big concern here, because they are following this documentary crew, do not make them a part of the show. Don't season 9 this. Go into it, try and figure out what characters work, much like you did in Parks and Rec. I think Parks and Rec is the perfect example of what they should do here. Figure out what works, and then by season 2, mold it into the perfect show. Parks and Rec started out. Well, so Parks and Rec started with Leslie Knope pretty much being a worse Michael Scott. But they said, oh, people don't like this. And they changed the character completely, and they made it more like Amy Poehler. That's what you should do. They said, oh, people aren't clinging to Mark Brandanowitz. Let's bring in Adam Scott and Rob Lowe.
Justice for Brandanowitz. I've been on that internet subreddit for years.
More like Mark Bland-Danowitz.
I'll agree with you on one thing. I would prefer them to go the cast of characters route instead of trying to make a Michael Scott 2.0, because I don't think that's possible with today's landscape. And I also think that's like a once in a lifetime character. So I would stay away from one character trying to dominate the humor and go towards more the Parks and Rec type, where you have 5 or 6 characters carrying the humor. What I do like is them copying sort of the blueprint for Dunder Mifflin, though. Failing paper company in that era. Now we have a failing newspaper company. So I like that dynamic to it.
But also, I mean, Pawnee was a failing government. So it's just, we haven't had a new, single cam mockumentary in a little while. So that might be fresh again. Who knows?
Sure.
Well, because we had Modern Family that did it for like, what, 11 years? And it
Modern
kind of played
Family's
out by that point.
Modern Family's underrated. I'll tell you that. I really like Modern
Yeah,
Family.
the first 3 or 4 seasons. Actually, there's the joke in that show that I think about constantly is how Phil always trips over that one step.
Yeah, that's a pretty good
There
one.
is a beam in my basement that I hit my head on every single day.
My favorite running joke in the show is Phil's love for black women. That's one of the best things going. It's fucking
Okay.
phenomenal.
News dump. Mac Ted has been renewed for season 2 on the Peacock.
Definitely earned it. That season was much
Yeah.
better than it had any business being, so it earned a second season.
News dump. Na-na-na-na-na-na. Ma-na-na-na-na-na. Ba-na. Mac, our X minute right now. We just got episode 9, the penultimate episode of season 1. We'll have a full season recap by the end of next week. And just a couple quick thoughts on the episode.
Yeah, I don't want to blow our load here.
Yeah, no, we're not going to do a whole thing here, but I love the shot at the first movie when, of course, in the first movie, Cyclops is like, what do you expect? Spandex. And in this episode, Cyclops is like, what do you expect? Black leather? Fucking got him.
Smoked them.
Yeah.
This episode was so intense and so I don't know. There's been very few episodes or properties that have been animated to get me this invested in the characters and the character building they're doing. Magneto as a character is so complex and so well developed over this season. And this one season, they've done so much with that character as opposed to the 5 seasons in the original show, which they did develop him quite a bit, but it's just to the nth degree in this season. I'm just really looking forward to the finale here. And the closing shot of this penultimate episode is fucking incredible.
It's so good. Are we allowed to talk about it a little bit, or should we just save it?
It's up to you. I would, I don't know. I don't care either way.
All right, quick spoilers. If you don't want to hear it, fucking leave. But I love how they split up into their 2 or 3 teams.
Yeah,
and
gold team and blue team.
Gold team, blue team. And I love the shut up Charles. And then because
Charles?
Wolverine, I'm sorry, what was that?
Shut the fuck up, Charles.
Also, first off, I think my biggest gripe.
Do you know what I'm referencing?
No, what is it?
One of the greatest early internet videos, the dubbed over X-Men video. Charles,
oh, that
shut
is
the fuck
good.
up, Charles.
I wish they said that. That'd been hilarious. So my biggest issue with the show is I hate Charles's voice. I think it is the worst thing going.
I think it's
there's no power behind it. There's no there's nothing drawing me to it. It sounds weak. I hate it.
And his voice was one of the best in the original show. So that might be the worst thing about the show at this point is Charles's voice.
Magnus, you don't know what you're doing.
I'm sick of him calling him Magnus too.
I don't like that either. They should have had an AI of Paul Lynde voice him. That would have been great. But I also, so with the ending, because the previously on, because they've always made it whoever the main character of the episode, that's who the previously on, that's who narrates it. They had Wolverine do it. So I had that in my mind the entire time. I'm like, okay, he's going to be the hero of this episode. And you kind of get like 2 or 3 false endings where with each turn, you're like, okay, I like where this is going. Like you think that Professor X is going to wipe Magneto's mind or get into his mind and make him reverse what he did last episode. But then he puts the helmet on him, puts the thing over his mouth, says, shut the fuck up, Charles. Right? Did I just do it right?
Charles?
There we go. And then he's squeezing the helmet on Charles's head. I'm like, could they bring Charles back and then murder him? That's something this show might do.
Right.
That'd be great. That doesn't happen. Wolverine then stabs Magneto through the back. And I'm like, that's kind of great too. Because he had a perfect arc this season and him dying would still get his point across to the other mutants that don't agree with the X-Men. So he could be a messiah in that type of situation there. But then you also know that Wolverine, adamantium claws, Magneto can control that because they're metal. So you question, like, wait, why didn't Magneto, do something about this? And he does. He says, get off my back, and then drains the adamantium from his body. fucking amazing. And I also love the explanation of why didn't he just do this in the first place? It's because, he didn't want to be mean.
Yeah, you want to beat them, but you don't want to kill them.
Yeah.
I do like this how this all ties into that whole idea of the brave die first, which has been like a sort of a back and forth between
Yeah.
Wolverine and Magneto as well.
Yeah. Oh, I love this show. I'm rock hard 40 dogs. I've loved this, man.
Is there a chance that the finale knocks it down from that level for you?
I don't think so. I think because they could either go with the cliffhanger or they could try and wrap this up. And I think either way, I'll be happy.
I like that.
I guess the only thing that I don't want to see is don't bring Gambit back.
I don't think they will. There's been
I don't
no
think
real
they will
inklings
either.
of it. Yeah.
I don't think they will either. But also, I love Magneto talking about seeing the eyeballs of a child eviscerate in front of his face. And I'm like, Jesus Christ. Like his face just melts right in front of me.
Magneto is just he's the best character in the show by a mile right now.
Yeah. But having said that, every other character has gotten their due this season. And
They're
you're
all good.
You're invested in all of their story arcs.
I agree. Magneto is just head and shoulders above the rest at the moment.
News done. I also wouldn't mind if Charles goes back through puberty in this final episode and fix his voice. We got another monkey movie, Mac. It is already in theaters, and that is Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. I saw it the other day, and I'll tell you what, just another solid flick.
I very much enjoy the original trilogy not the original trilogy, but the trilogy from that started like a decade ago.
The reboot trilogy, yes.
Yeah. Obviously, there's like 8 movies from the 60s and 70s. I'm looking forward to this movie, and that'll be our episode next week. So look forward to that.
Yes. Right now, 84% on Rotten Tomatoes, 64% on Metacritic. I don't think it's as big as the last two. It's not as war-y, but it's 300 years in the future, and they're talking about Caesar. So let's do this.
Ooh.
Get your paws off me, you dirty ape. He can talk. He can talk. He can talk. He can talk. I can sing. I'm not allowed to play the sounds anymore, so I'm just going to go ahead and sing if I can.
Just acapella it.
Ooh, help me, Dr. Zaius.
Dr. Zaius, Dr. Zaius.
News done. That'll do it for this episode. Check us out next week we have a big week, huge week. Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, and we have X-Men the Animated Series. Sorry, X-Men 97. I keep on doing that.
Bang. Bang, bang. Pow.
See you later.